Last week's IMF and World Bank spring meetings in Washington, D.C. had a very different atmosphere. Among central bankers, investors, and global regulators, one big question was on everyone's mind. Is the U.S. no longer the world's safe haven? Expectations were high as U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent walked into the room. He wasn't just representing the future of the dollar, he stood for the future of the entire global financial system. And that's why his words mattered so much. The dollar will stay strong, Bessent said, wearing the usual diplomatic smile. But deep down, everyone knew it didn't feel as reassuring as it used to. In just 3 months, the dollar had dropped 10% against major trading partners. Stocks were falling, investors were fleeing bonds. And perhaps most surprisingly, for the first time, people were seriously looking for new safe havens. So here's something to consider. What happens when a country loses the currency that once symbolized stability? That's what made this year's meetings feel so different. It wasn't just about interest rates anymore. Political turmoil, trade wars, and deepening global rifts were all part of the conversation. Trump's return to the White House didn't just shake U.S. politics, it shattered confidence in the dollar itself. Not long ago, protectionism was viewed as just a negotiating tactic. Now, it's become a core strategy. You could hear the shift not just in the numbers, but in people's voices. Citigroup's chief economist, Nathan Sheets, put it clearly. Scenarios we once thought impossible are now seriously being discussed. Take a moment to think about it. If global investors start pulling away from the dollar, do you think the average American or anyone else around the world will be untouched? The US's aggressive trade policies have shaken more than just exports and imports. They've hit the dollar's image. Today, the dollar isn't just a currency. It's a symbol of trust, a political statement, even a test of confidence. One of the most powerful quotes heard in the IMF corridors this year came from Joyce Chong, head of global research at Morgan. A new world order is being built. And she wasn't just talking about markets, she was talking about the growing divide between East and West. While Wall Street still trusts the dollar, from Berlin to Seoul, many are quietly calling this a regime change. So I'll ask you, if the dollar is no longer the first choice, where do people run? And more importantly, are we ready? This year's meetings weren't about dry economic charts. Even seasoned economists are now warning of a recession. They say, we can smell it. Inflation forecasts are rising. Growth projections are falling. Stagnation plus inflation, one of the most dangerous combos in economic history. Christopher J. Waller from the Federal Reserve warned, tariffs have frozen business activity. This kind of uncertainty spreads fast. In other words, it's not just about interest rates anymore. It's about psychology, trust, and stability. So what do you think? Is the dollar still the world's safest harbor? Or is the world already searching for a new one?